This is Sally, who loves to dance and says she'll never grow old. We showed her videotapes of these three single men, and she picked one as her date. Which one did she choose? Which one will our audience choose? And this is Gary. He says he'd like to share what he learned during 20 years of marriage. Which one of these women did he choose? Which one will our audience choose? Today on Love Connection, you'll find out who they pick, who the audience picks, and everything that happened on their dates. Now, here to tell us more about Love Connection is our host, Chuck Woolery.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Love Connection. There are more than 60 million single adults in the United States, so here on Love Connection, we've got a new way for singles to meet. And here's how it works. We've compiled a videotape library of hundreds of attractive and available single people. Now, we select some of those singles and we show them 3 videotapes. After they watch the tapes, they choose the one they're most attracted to and go out on a date. Then they come here and they tell us what happened on their date. So let's begin. Let's meet a woman who selected a date from our video library. Now, she's from Fairlawn, New Jersey, and she feels that marriage stands a better chance if a couple lives together first. Please welcome Sally Kravitz. Come on up, talk to me, Sally. How you doing, man?
Thank you.
Why do you think a couple should live together before marriage?
Well, I feel it's very important for a couple to really know each other. And you can date someone for about 5 years, but if you don't see the way they brush their teeth, the way they do their laundry, and even their cooking habits, I think it could mean a big difference.
Physical attraction important to you?
Well, I think to begin with it is. That's the first thing you see about someone. So to begin with, it's fairly important, but if someone's a little overweight, that's okay, because I plan on whipping them into shape with me. And if they're a little nearsighted, that's okay too, as long as they know it's me when I start walking towards them.
A reasonable facsimile,
Yeah.
I got you. Well, now that we know a little bit about you, based on Sally's preferences, she was shown videotapes and questionnaires of 3 men. Now, we're going to show you a portion of the tapes that she saw. Now, you and our audience, and you at home too, watch very closely because we're going to ask you to pick the man that you think is best for Sally. First, there was Aussie. Now, he's from Florida. He likes yoga and roller skating, and he considers himself very normal.
I shower daily. I don't have any strange type of behavior, like walking around the middle of the night with candles in my hand. I don't do any of that. I just consider myself a pretty normal earthling.
Then there was Renee. Now, he was raised in Cuba. He's a father, and here's what he says about himself.
Try to be what I am without trying to live up to somebody else's expectations, which don't necessarily coincide with yours. And I would say that being happy is being able to be myself.
And finally, you watched Bruce. Now, he was raised in Ohio. He used to work with Playboy bunnies. And he tells us about one experience. I can't wait to hear this.
It was in April around Easter, and the bunny from Baltimore invited me out to the jacuzzi. And I wasn't supposed to accommodate her, but I did, let alone talk to her. But she went out the back way, around the bar through the glass doors. I went through the driveway, and we had a little rendezvous in the jacuzzi area. Yeah, she was quite wild.
Okay, Sally selected one of those men as her date. Before she tells us who she chose, we're going to show you all 3 men again, okay? First, there was Aussie. Now, he's a 28-year-old attorney. Then there's Renee, a 35-year-old electronics technician from New York. And finally, Bruce, a 32-year-old exotic cocktail waiter. Why not? Okay, audience, it's time for your voting machines. Now, you've met Sally. You've seen her choices. Who do you think's the best man for her? Here in the studio and at home, too, please make your choice right now. Now, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we'll meet a man who Sally selected. We'll meet the man, as a matter of fact, and find out everything that happened on their date. You stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll find out who the audience chose a little later, but right now, let's find out who Sally chose, okay? Who did you select, Sally?
It was Aussie.
Aussie. Okay. Now, in Love Connections, we get both sides of the story. We ask our couples not to speak to each other after their date, and we keep them apart so that they'll be less inhibited about telling their story, okay? Aussie is backstage, so let's say hello to Aussie Espino. Hi, Aussie. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. Aussie, I want to come back and talk to you in just a minute, but let me ask Sally some questions first here. Why did you pick Aussie?
I felt that Ozzie had a very good sense of humor, and that's very important to me. And the other real important thing was that he said he liked tall blondes, hourglass figure. Well, I'm taller than some people. There's a little bit of blonde in there, and I've got an hourglass figure. I can't help it that my sand is shifted more to the bottom.
Fair enough. Ozzie, how was Sally different from the girls you usually date? You'd never seen her before, obviously.
She's about 4 inches shorter, and she eats with her hands.
Tell us what happened on your date, honey.
Well, we decided to go to Catalina for the day. The weather was terrific, and I picked him up bright and early in the morning. We got to Catalina. It was a little overcast, and I had made I made a big pasta salad.
Oh, really?
I love to cook. That's why I said the sand is shifted.
We talked about the dates.
Did you like that, Ozzie? Was the pasta salad one of your favorites?
Yeah, I heard about it for days, and it was really good. I ate 3 helpings of it.
What happened next?
Well, the first thing we did was that we rented one of those electric golf carts to take a little self-tour on the island. And we did.
Yeah?
And I think they should put seatbelts in those things.
Why is that?
For drivers like Ozzie.
Oh.
With Ozzie.
On a golf cart, yeah. What happened then?
We spent the day there, and we left late afternoon because we had a party to go to. Friends of mine were having a very big party, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to go there. So since I had driven, first we got back around 7 o'clock off the boat, and we first made a stop at Ozzie's place that he can change for the party. Then we had to drive all the way back over the hill to my place that I can get ready for the party. And then we went to the party, and I think it was a great time. I think he enjoyed it also.
Is the party good?
It went till about 3 in the morning.
That's a late party.
It's a fairly late party, or early for the next morning, depending on how you look at it. And then, since we had my car, I had to drive him home. But it was very late, and I figured, rather than driving all the way over that side of the hill and coming back over here, I said, you can crash on my couch. I thought that was a very nice offer. He said he had to go home and feed the dog. So, back in the car, back over the hill. At this point, I am very tired. I've been up
4:30 in the morning.
That's right. And we started the date at around 7 o'clock in the morning. So rather than driving all the way home, I camped out on his couch.
And that's how it ended. Okay, now it's time to find out who the audience picked, okay?
Okay.
Let's see who they picked. Look right over here. The audience picked Bruce.
Bruce?
There's your audience, folks. Now, Sally, we picked up the tab for your first date. You know how it works on Love Connection. If you want to go out with Bruce, we'll pick up the tab for that. Whatever you want to do. If you want to go back out with anybody else.
Well, a male exotic waiter is a little bit too much for me. I'm going to stick with Ozzie.
Yeah, is that okay with you, Ozzie?
It's great, yeah.
You guys are going to go out again. You're on your own. Come on out, Ozzie. Nice to meet you. There's your date. You all want to sit down on the couch here and listen. I hope you have a great time together. Thank you very much for being on Love Connection. It's nice to meet you both and have you share your date with us. We have a nice gift for both of you as well, okay? And I tell you what, we're going to come back with another couple in just a minute. Stay with us. All right, we're back. This time we're going to meet a man who chose a date from our video library. He's from Brooklyn. He loves all music except rock. Please welcome Gary Cotch. There's his coach. It's coaching.
That's the way we say it.
All right, I want to get it right now.
Right.
You were married for 20 years.
That's about the way it was.
Now, you've dated, have you dated much since your divorce?
Not too much. A little here and a little there. Make the most of whatever you do on the there.
Okay. What attracts you to women?
Depends on which direction they're coming from.
Oh, you think you'll ever get married again?
I love to get married again. What did I learn in 20 years? Nothing.
All right, we know a little bit more about you, Gary, and we're going to show you a portion of the tapes that Gary saw, okay? So pay very close attention because you're going to get to vote again. Now, first there was Kelly. She's from Cincinnati. She hates bad manners and feels that at a certain age, men begin to wander.
You know, really, at my age, I'm not looking for marriage again. You know, once was enough. But most men our age are looking for someone 20 years younger. A lot of my friends' husbands have left them for Twinkies.
Okay. Next, there was Barbara. Now, she's from Boston. She likes a man to be a gentleman, but says it's okay for women to be aggressive.
Then I also consider I'm the kind of person that has a lot of initiative. And I don't see anything wrong with talking to a man in an elevator on a street corner. Once in a restaurant, I was out on a date, but I thought the gentleman sitting at the next table was very handsome and animated, and so I passed him my card.
And finally, Fellaine. Now, she's from St. Paul. She says she goes for personality first, but these are the kind of looks that she goes for.
I just seem to like small men that are short, slender. I do love thick, gray, curly hair. I must admit that's a kind of a turn-on.
All right. Now, before we find out who Gary chose as his date, let's see all three women once again, okay? First, there was Kelly. She's a 51-year-old English teacher. Then Barbara, she's a 48-year-old journalist. And finally, Fellaine, a 45-year-old business manager. Okay, audience, it's time to vote again. Who do you think's the best lady for Gary? Here in the studio and at home, please make your choice right now, okay? We'll find out who the audience picked a little later, but right now let's find out who Gary selected, okay? Gary?
Well, after reviewing all the information I had, there was only one possible choice. What else but a small, bushy, gray-haired old man?
So you picked yourself?
Obviously.
No.
Fellaine.
You picked Fellaine. I got you, okay. On Love Connection, we always get both sides of the story. Fellaine's backstage. Let's say hello to Fellaine Bamel, I think it is. Fellaine, how are you, hon?
Hi.
Now, he obviously got to see you before you got to see him. What was your first impression of Gary?
Well, he did try to prepare me. When he called me for the date, he said he was going to come to the door kneeling, carrying a picture of a man with thick, gray, curly hair.
Funny. Okay. Gary, tell me about your date.
Well, it was an absolute disaster.
Oh, it was?
I mean, that's an understatement of the century. Showed up about 2.5 hours late.
Oh, my gosh.
And knocked on the door with a lot of courage, though, you know. She opened the door, but she was smiling. And that was fantastic. You know, I felt comfortable because she smiled. And we got
I asked
out.
him if he was coming from China.
Okay, then what happened?
She said she'd like to go really up the coast, someplace up the coast, and we took a drive all the way up the coast. And we got to this restaurant by the beach, and I saw the sign that said no parking. That's the only parking spot there was. So she said she liked long drives, so I made 25 U-turns on the highway there.
I thought we'd never get out of the car. We were going to be stuck there forever. I told him, 3 strikes and you're out. Come on, park this car. I don't care where you parked it.
Okay. All right.
That's where I parked.
Now what?
Okay, we got in. We gave our name, put it down on the list. They told us it'd be about an hour wait.
Oh, my gosh.
Turned out to be a little longer. They lost our name on the list. I don't know how they can lose it, but they did. 2 hours later, we got seated.
You waited for 2 hours at this restaurant?
Well, you have to hear what happened in my waiting.
Well, what did you do?
I limped in. I said, I can't stand. I got to have something to eat. Didn't help. I asked people, do they have doggy bags when they leave? They could leave it with me. I said, do they have a breakfast menu?
Are you liking this, or are you really just...
Oh, I thought it was hysterical. I really did.
Well,
I mean, people were coming up and saying, he's really a hard person to contain, isn't he?
What else happened?
I
Finally got him to sit down, obviously.
Well, not so easy. I had one guy say, don't pay the bill. Show him. I says, I'll tell you what, I'll sit with you. And when they come to the Utah, I'll back you up.
I love it. Okay, now, so you obviously paid the bill.
On the way home, stopped off at there was a beautiful little a market there. We wanted to get a newspaper.
Yeah.
They tell me the newspaper's in the back of the liquor department.
Right.
So we went in the back, bent over to get a newspaper. We turned around to walk out. The place was closed. They locked the place. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, see?
Fellaine! You poor baby! This is hysterical.
You should have seen the look on the man's face when we started calling help. Let us out of there.
We get out, we get in the car, you know, we're on the way home, and we get home, and I con her, says, you know, why don't you invite me up, we'll have a cup of coffee. She says, fine, come on, and, you know, you deserve at least a cup of coffee. So she gets up there, she makes a cup of coffee, she finishes the coffee, she says, here's your coffee. I says, gee, Fellaine, I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee. Just get out!
Fellaine?
Believe me, I would have liked to spill it on him, but I contained myself.
Well, it sounds like you had a pretty good date anyway, aside from all of those crazy things that happened. At least she gave you something to talk about.
It was something to talk. It was a great date. The girl's got
She
the greatest
got a
sense of humor.
great
Put up with
attitude.
that. Has to have the
I
best sense of
guess.
humor in the world.
Let's take a look and see who the audience voted for, okay? We're going to reveal that right now. I'm kind of curious. They picked Barbara. Okay, now the audience chose Barbara. You know how it works on Love Connection. If you want to go out with Barbara, we'll pick up the tab.
Well,
Would you like to do that?
I think Fellaine deserves another date to make up for that.
Okay, well, Fellaine, are you ready for this?
I think so.
Okay, well, come on out and join us. Come on, walk over here. Thank you both very much for sharing your story with us on Love Connection. We have a nice gift for both of you. Okay? We're going to take a break, and when we return, the audience is going to select a date for our next guest. We're going to come right back and do that in just a minute. Okay, our next guest was shown videotapes of 3 women, and rather than choose his own date, he's agreed to let our audience decide who he should go out with. So let's meet him right now. He's the reigning world champion of the International Karate Association, and he says his favorite dates take place in his living room. Please welcome Tim Baker. Come on up, Tim. Good. Have a seat. All right. Okay, now before we talk about your living room, I guess you should give us a definition of what a date is. What's a date to you?
Potato chips and cable TV.
That's what you like.
No, actually, when a lot of times when you go out on a date, you'll meet somebody earlier in the afternoon, you'll get along really good, and you start to get kind of close, and so then you say, oh, well, great, we'll get together and we'll go on a date. And then when you finally do go out on a date, you come back and there's an absolute stranger in front of you. She's all dressed up real nice, and all of a sudden you have to go through that whole process again.
The ritual of dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How would you describe your personality?
Scattered.
Really, is it? It is. Now, how in the world can your personality be scattered when in karate everything's got to be so focused and defined?
When I'm in the ring, it's a different story, because then you can concentrate completely on the matter at hand. You know, this guy's trying to knock your head off, and so you've got to be able to get out of the way and counterattack and do the things, to keep from, getting killed.
It's kind of like a date.
It really is.
So we know a little bit about you. Based on Tim's preferences, he was shown videotapes of 3 women. We're going to show you a portion of the tapes that he saw right now, okay? Now, you and the audience at home, too, watch very closely, because you're going to pick the woman who goes out with him, all right? First, there was Nancy. She's from Connecticut. She's into gourmet cooking. She says she knows herself pretty well.
I think I have a strong, aggressive personality, and sometimes that's overbearing. I am very committed, and I have strong convictions. I tell the truth, and I usually tell it straight, and that's uncomfortable for them. So in that regard, I'm, overpowering.
Okay, next there's Linda. Now, she likes art galleries and museums, and she says it's hard to meet men, so recently she took matters into her own hands.
And it was the first person I had seen in a long time that I was interested in. And I liked what I saw, so I just said, what the hell? Why not? So I sort of went after him. I think it's very hard to meet people that are compatible to me. I just find it's very hard to meet people that I'm attracted to or interested in.
And finally, there's Sally. Now, she says she always goes home alone on the first date. She's recently divorced and just getting back into the dating scene.
I married when I was a teenager, and I haven't done much dating, and it's, trying to get to know the person and think of the conversation and what you like to do, and it's hard when you're used to someone for a long time, and it's awkward, but it's also kind of fun, too.
Okay, audience, before you decide who Tim should go out with, let's show you all 3 women one more time, okay? First, there was Nancy, a 28-year-old account executive, and Linda, an administrative assistant, and she's 29. Finally, Sally, she's 33, and she works in real estate. That's all 3 of them. It's decision time. Which one of these 3 women would be best for Tim? That's our question to you. Make your choice now, okay? Pressing all the buttons. I think the audience tabulation is ready. Is it ready? Okay, who is it? Linda. Okay, 44%. How do you like Linda? Good.
I like it. Now, I gotta tell you, you've got good taste.
What do you think you'll do on your date? What do you think you'll do?
Definitely not cable TV and potato chips. There's something more than that. I'll think of something devious, sinister.
You're going to come back and tell us all about what happens to you
I
and
sure will.
everything else? That's our show today because we believe romance needs all the help it can get. We're going to be back tomorrow with more singles trying to make a love connection. I'm Chuck Woolery, and I'll see you then.
Some guests on Love Connection will receive one of the following. Jovan Musk. Drop for drop, Jovan Musk has brought more men and women together than any other fragrance in history. Try it today and see for yourself. Jovan Musk. Or a tote bag from Pan American World Airways. Across the country and around the world, serving 6 continents, 47 countries, and over 110 cities. Pan Am, you can't beat the experience. Or a versatile, full-valued 106-channel public service scanner radio. Scan for the action with Regency. Or Uline Combo 19 Ice Maker with 2.1 cubic foot refrigerator. May produce 22 pounds of ice cubes daily using minimum energy. No drain needed. This is Rod Roddy speaking for Love Connection.